Chicago Bears Overreaction Monday coming at you. My name is Harrison Graham. You are watching Bears Now. Let's dive right in here. Could the Bears cut Velus Jones Jr.? Should they cut him? I'm going to go 3 smoking Jays. I'm not quite at 4 because I don't think they actually will cut him. But if it were me, I would probably just cut my losses at this point if I was Ryan Poles. I've just had it with Velus Jones, man. Like, the only time when we're doing these watch parties, when we're watching these Bears games, that we hear Velus Jones' name is due to a negative play. Drops, penalties, fumbles. He doesn't make plays that impact you in a positive way. He makes impactful plays just for the other team. And that just cannot be the case on a consistent basis for any player on your team. I don't care where you drafted him. I mean, he's a good kick returner. The problem is 90% of kickoffs these days are just touchbacks. So if that's the only thing you do fairly well and you've only had 6 kick returns all year, it's like, is that really worth a roster spot in today's NFL? I'm not sure that it is. I mean, you look at his career stats in 20 games. 10 catches, that's it. 116 yards. He's been fairly effective as a jet sweep guy, but they don't even use him in that regard anymore. So what is the value for Velus Jones? And look, if you're Ryan Poles, you made a bad pick, man. You might as well just move on. Now, I think this is probably more of an offseason discussion. Like I said, I don't think they're going to cut him. I would move on, but the reality is you're fairly thin at receiver. The Claypool thing, he's already gone. EQ is on IR, so I don't expect a move right now, but I think it would send a message, and I think it's one of those deals where it's like, I actually think Ryan Poles has done a good job of admitting when he has made mistakes, R.E. Claypool, and not let it drag on too far. Velus seems like a good dude, a good teammate. I'm not going after the kid. He hasn't been good. Like, he has not been good. There's just simply no way around it. So be honest with me. Should the Bears cut Velus Jones Jr.? Type C for cut or K for keep. I would cut him. I just, put Tyler Scott at kick return, give him an opportunity back there, give him any snaps Velus has left in the offense to Tyler Scott and try to develop him a little bit more because I just don't trust Velus to have an impact at this point in time. All right, keep it rolling here on Overreaction Monday. Justin Fields, is he playing on Thursday Night Football against the Carolina Panthers? I'll go 2 smoking Jays. It feels like it's 50-50. I think if it was a Sunday game, those odds would go up by 10 or 12%, but the quick turnaround makes it tough. Both Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles have sounded off on his status in the last 24 hours as he continues to recover from that dislocated thumb. Poles says he is hopeful that Fields can play this week. Matt Eberflus, after the game yesterday, says, quote, "We'll see where it is." If I had a dime for every time Flus said that exact quote for an injury that he did not want to reveal, then I would retire and someone else would be hosting this show, but that's neither here nor there. Now, I can see both sides of the argument, both sides of the coin. Like, should you play him even if he's not 100%? Should you hold him out to get the extra 10 days? I mean, that does make sense if you want to see him have the best chance to play high-quality football, but at the same time, you got 8 games left, man, and you're entering a crossroads soon. Like, if I'm Justin Fields, I'm trying to play. Like, I know I've got 8 games to prove that I can be that guy. Every game that goes away is one opportunity lost. Now, flip side, you go out there, banged up thumb, you fall through on a pass, hit a player's helmet, you might be right back where you started a month ago. So that's obviously not what you want either. But if you can play and play through it and be healthy, you're playing Carolina. Seems like a good opportunity to go out there and put out a good performance. Then you get 10 days off before you have to play a tough Detroit team. I would try to play if I'm Justin Fields, but I can understand from the Bears side or his side if giving it an extra 10 days to hopefully fully heal makes more sense. So we'll see what they do. Coming up on Bears Now, can Justin Fields prove to Ryan Poles and the Bears that he's worthy of being this team's quarterback in 2024, or has that already been decided? Has Poles moved on, and is he fully into draft mode? We will discuss that and more here in just a moment. But first, Waterboy back as a sponsor here at Chicago Bears Now. And with the holidays approaching, our sponsor, Waterboy, is here to help you prepare for those nasty holiday hangovers. There's nothing worse than feeling like the Grinch while everybody else in the family is rocking around the Christmas tree. Waterboy is a hydration powder scientifically formulated to cut your hangover time in half. There are other hydration packs on the market, but nothing comes close to fighting those Sunday scaries like Waterboy. With 0 sugar and over 3 times the electrolytes of Liquid IV, your hangover will stand no chance. Unlike their competitors, Waterboy has added specific ingredients beyond just hydration to help with nausea, anxiety, and fatigue. We all know that hydration alone isn't enough to cure that holiday bender that you're going to go on. And it's not just you. Waterboy's hangover recovery formula makes a thoughtful stocking stuffer or a fantastic gift for your loved ones. So show them you care about their well-being this holiday season. Most hydration powders are packed so full of sugar that cause you to crash even harder, but not Waterboy. They have 9 times the electrolytes of Gatorade. So get started today. Hundreds of thousands of people already trust Waterboy as their hangover cure. Go to waterboy.com/chatsports. That code chatsports at waterboy.com/chatsports is going to get you 15% off at checkout. Give them a try today. waterboy.com/chatsports. Link is in the comments and in the description. Get 15% off. It's time to ho hydrate this holiday season. Okay, let's discuss. What can Justin Fields do? Is there anything he can do to sway Ryan Poles that maybe not he's for sure locked in and is the long-term guy, but at least entering next year, he's the guy for this football team? Well, let's look at the remaining schedule. You've got 8 games left, the bye week in week 13. Carolina this Thursday night again. It's 50-50, I would say, if Fields plays. At Detroit, at Minnesota the next couple of weeks before that bye week. Then Detroit again. So you got 3 divisional opponents in 4 weeks. I'll tell you what, if you can win a couple of those, that would go a long way because Matt Eberflus has yet to be an NFC North opponent. Week 15 in Cleveland. That's a tough defense. That'll be a good test. We all know what happened the last time Fields played in Cleveland in his first start. It was a disaster. Week 16 and 17, home games against the Cardinals and Falcons. Then Week 18 at the Packers. I'm looking at that game in Cleveland, those games against Detroit and Minnesota. It's like, okay, these are quality teams. Can he go out there and ball out? With 8 games left, I think he probably has to have 6 or so of those games be like the games we saw against Denver and Washington, where he put up 8 touchdowns against 1 interception. In the other games this year, he's got 3 touchdowns against 5 interceptions. So it's been a mixed bag in the 6 games that he has played in. We've seen some really good football. We've seen some not very good football, because here's the reality. If you're Ryan Poles, remember what Ryan Poles said in the offseason, like in terms of what he's going to do at quarterback. Is he going to keep Fields? Is he going to take a quarterback number 1 overall? He ultimately traded the number 1 overall pick. He said, one of these QB prospects is going to have to blow me away. None of them did, although C.J. Stroud looks like a guy that's going to be really good for a while. Now you wonder if it's on the flip side, right? Justin Fields may have to blow Ryan Poles away to convince him that he can be the long-term guy, because if not, if the season ended today and you have picks 2 and 3, you're probably taking a QB2 and drafting Marvin Harrison 3. I mean, that's just probably what you're going to do. So, that's just how I see it, is Justin Fields is going to have to play very good football. I'm not saying like MVP level or something like that, or top 5 QB in the league level football for the remaining of the season. But he's going to have to play very good. Let's say he plays all 8 games. 6 of the 8 need to be really good. And honestly, some of it's out of Fields' control. I think the Bears probably have to fall outside of the top 2, because unless Justin Fields is the best quarterback in football the final 2 months, if Ryan Poles gets a top 2 pick, I just don't see him passing on one of these quarterbacks. Caleb Williams, Drake Maye, I just don't see it. I would be completely surprised. And the reason I don't see it is, A, it resets the QB clock, and B, I think Poles would almost view it as like, okay, I'm entering year 3 as a GM. My seat could warm up soon, and I may not get a chance to draft my quarterback. And if I do draft my quarterback, I can sell ownership and Kevin Warren on, hey, like, we have a rookie quarterback. We've got to give this a couple of years, so it buys himself some time as well. And that's why I think you get a top 2 pick, Ryan Poles is going to draft a quarterback. That is just how I see it. So I think there's things Justin Fields can control, but some of it's out of his control. If Carolina's horrible and gives you a top 2 pick, it just might be over for Justin Fields in Chicago. So pick a 2024 quarterback. Who would you like to see be the Bears quarterback next season? Type JF for Justin Fields, CW for Caleb Williams, or DM for Drake Maye. I would say it's 90+% one of these 3 players is the Bears starting quarterback in week 1 of 2024. Okay, join the Nota Gang here at Chicago Bears Now. It's an exclusive club. The way you can do so, step 1, hit that subscribe button because you can't turn on notifications until you subscribe. Then you click the bell, and the way YouTube, at least on a phone now, as soon as you hit subscribe, a bell pops up right there. So click that if you're a new subscriber. If not, you should be able to see it since you're already subscribed. click that notification bell. And then step 3, it's kind of small there in the corner down there. The default, which is highlighted on your screen, it says personalized. Select all right above it. If you do that, every single time we publish a video, you will get notified right then and there. When it's on personalized, sometimes you won't get a notification. Sometimes you'll get it like hours later. And you guys want to know Bears news in real time, right? So select all after you follow those first 2 steps. Join the Noti Gang here at Bears Now. We would greatly appreciate it. All right, Overreaction Monday continues with Tyson Bagent. The hype needs to chill. Yes, for smoking Jays. And you know, I get it. I get why quarterbacks are so polarizing in Chicago, because the Bears have never had a long-time proven high-level quarterback, unless you want to count Sid Luckman in the 1940s. Like, they have not had one. So anytime a quarterback shows promise, you want to believe, and I understand. And listen, like, I like a lot of what Tyson Bagent has done filling in these last couple of weeks, but I also think we've seen the limitations and why he was an undrafted guy. 18 of 30 yesterday against the Saints, 220, couple of touchdowns, 3 picks, had a fumble, did a nice job running the football, a couple of designed runs, had some nice scrambles as he rushed for 70 yards as well. But he said it himself, guys. He called the 4 turnovers embarrassing. Like, he knows that's not adequate QB play in the NFL. He knows that's not sustainable to win football games. I mean, it was a miracle that the Bears lost the turnover battle 5-0. And only lost that game by 7. I mean, that's a game you lose by 30 in most cases. So you've got that going on. And look, here's the bottom line. The extremes from both sides of the fence need to stop. I mean, I feel like it's politics when it comes to Bears quarterbacks, right? Like, there's no middle ground. The Tyson Bagent fanboys who thinks he's the undisputed answer, that's way too extreme. There's not even close to enough evidence to say that's the case. I think he could. What I've said is I think he could have a Case Keenum type of career where he's a high-level backup. If he needs to start, he can. And in the right situation, you could actually win games with him. I think he's got that potential. But, like, we have not seen nearly enough to say he could be a high-level starter. And then on this side of the coin, the Justin Fields fanboys who, hey, I'm a big Fields guy. Like, I think in the right situation, he could be a high-level starter. But I've also pointed out his shortcomings. And I think in a couple areas, Bagent actually does a better job getting the ball out quicker, et cetera. But some people out there are now like, Tyson Bagent, they should cut him. He shouldn't even be on the practice squad. It's like, whoa, relax. Like, he is a Division II guy who made a roster as UDFA, rightfully so, by the way. He beat out Walker and Peterman, and he's shown you some ability. Like, this is a guy worth keeping around. Now, there is no situation where you enter next season with him as a starter. Like, that should not be the case. But at the same time, this is not a guy you just punt on now because he had a bad fourth quarter yesterday. Like, he's done some good things. Is the arm strength somewhat limited? Yeah. Is the accuracy at times not where it needs to be? Yeah. And look, when you don't have a cannon, you've got to be able to put the ball on target, especially over the middle. And we saw that get exposed a couple times yesterday. He was late throwing to Mooney, and he threw behind Tyler Scott. Both got picked off. He said so in the postgame. That's what happened. So how do you guys view Tyson Bagent right now? Type S for starter, B for backup, or P for practice squad? I think he's a backup. I think he is worthy of being on an NFL roster, which is where he's at right now. He's on the Bears roster. And look, if he plays Thursday night and beats Carolina, which I would pick the Bears to beat the Panthers, even with Tyson Bagent, he's done his job. 4 starts, he'd go 2-2. That's all you want when you have a backup quarterback. Go 500 until the starter comes back. Don't be the reason you fall out of the mix. Now, the Bears at 2-7 aren't in the mix, but they weren't in the mix before Justin Fields got hurt. So I think Bagent overall has done some good things. Does he have a ways to go? Absolutely. He's a rookie undrafted quarterback. Like, not going to come in here and light the world on fire, especially when there are other problems on this roster and this coaching staff. So let's dump the extremes when it comes to Bagent. We don't have to think he's the next Hall of Famer. We don't have to think he's a bum, because I don't think either are true. I think he's a young developmental guy that, you know, has some limitations. I don't want to put a ceiling on a guy, but at the same time, I don't want to, like, be unrealistic either. I think he could be a really good backup, maybe a fringe-level starter if he keeps developing. That's how I see it. Hit that subscribe button and join us later for Chicago Bears Now Live. We will go live at 4 o'clock Central Time. More thoughts on Overreaction Monday. Maybe some more injury updates from Matt Eberflus. We shall see. We'll take some of your questions as well. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys in a few hours.